Well, hello there. Welcome, everybody. Hope that you had a good holiday season and that we're getting close to the end of 2020, a year that can't leave us soon enough. This hopefully 2021 will be better. It has to be, right? Although the good thing about 2020 is that we started doing these shows and we have a nice crowd of people and good friends here doing comics a couple times a week at least, and we'll talk about the schedule for the rest of this week and what we're going to be doing going forward. We are buying comics like crazy people. I'm going to way parts far west Texas. We've been to Oklahoma and Arkansas recently, and we're going to be going back to some other places and picking up some more stuff. We bought a big Golden Age collection a couple of weeks ago, and we're starting to dole that out a little at a time. And you can always come and see me on Sundays at the Mockingbird store. Take a look at it. Hello, everyone. I'm Keith from Keith's Comics, and with me today is my wife, Cindy.
Yes, I am. I'm right here.
Yeah, and then we're going to be talking comics, and we're going to be hopefully getting you to buy stuff because full transparency, I'm here to sell you stuff. Hey, look like Tom is in. Hello, Tom. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Paul says the Flash, even though he's not a DC guy, that's pretty funny. And he does have a good roast gallery. What is Quicksilver's claim to fame? He got killed in the movie, and his sister is the Scarlet Witch. Yeah, he's got to pad that resume out a little bit there. Hello, Tuco. Good to see you here today. Steven, the Flash all day, he says. Esteban, come on now. Esteban, throwing a monkey wrench into things. And Jerry's here. All right, very good. Well, we're all back. We got some really cool stuff to do. We're going to be a little 90s, a little 80s, a lot of wacky stuff, some Golden Age fun stuff, and maybe a little story time mixed in there for a little bit. Are we ready, Cindy?
Yes, I am.
All right, so let's take a look at this first stuff. If you're watching this on the Keith's Comics Facebook feed, that is not the Mockingbird feed, thank you very much. But we need you to get over to the Mockingbird feed so that you can claim stuff if you like the prices that we put up there. And you are the first one to claim it. We will sort it out with you later on through the email, the mystical team comics at gmail.com, where Michael is on the other end of that. He will sort it out for you. If you see that somebody's already claimed something, go ahead and claim it also. Give me the name and the issue number if you can. Spelling is not so important. Intent is what we're looking for. We want you to go ahead and claim so that we know, one, that people are interested in those kind of items, and two, sometimes people forget they have things, or they just, run out of money in the budget when they realize they got to cut something, or maybe it wasn't the right book that they thought they were bidding on. We've seen that happen many times. Oh wait, that's not Defenders number one. That's Marvel Feature number one. My bad. So those things kind of happen sometimes. So we can always hit you up if you also claimed it. All right. Hey, Ed's here. Ed was huge help for this week because of these Golden Age books are so intensive. It's you have to go through every single page, and usually about 10% of Golden Age books are missing a page or a panel or a centerfold. Man, so you have to go through there every single page and then go against the Grand Comic Book Database to see what you're missing so that you can price them. Because books without pages and centerfolds and stuff still have value. There's lots of people out there who still want the book to read because they just are not going to be able to afford a minty mint copy, or they don't want to spend the money on a minty mint copy. They just don't want to. And then there's also the guys that buy pieces to put together to make their own book because they have a copy of it and they're missing parts of it. There's a whole lot of subsets of collecting out there. And oh gosh, Ed, come on now. Rocket Racer. and Ty comes off the top rope with Speedy Gonzalez. I don't even know. Are we allowed to even mention Speedy Gonzalez anymore? I can't remember all these rules. All right, here we go. Let's see. What do we got going here?
Keith's Comics.
All right. First, oh my gosh, we're going to go Golden Age right off the bat.
Boom, baby.
All right, this is Outlaws from.
Look out. She's caving in.
Whoa, it's a mine disaster. Holy smokes. The Ghost of Cracker Box Hill, A River of Gold, Dakota Double Cross, Last Ambush, and Gold City. Yeah, I felt like I was calling Jeopardy categories there. That's pretty funny. Outlaws, thrilling Western stories. I wonder if they're so thrilling or not, but I guess, it's the 50s. What were you going to do? This is volume 1, number 6. I can't even tell who the publisher is. I didn't write it down. The Long Arm of the Law traps the outlaws. Maybe somebody knows who's the publisher. That should give me a shout out in the comments. Yeah, feel free to jump in the comments if you're new to the show, or you just have something to add. It's a free form. You got to add some context. You got a question. You just want to snark on Keith. That's all good. That's the only reason Ed shows up anymore is to poke me in the eye. But that's okay. This Outlaws Volume 1. But we did find one of your grails, Ed.
They will poke him in the wallet.
We found one of the. Ed has a massive want list with very little on it that he actually needs, but I found one today. This volume 1, number 6, though, of Outlaws in VG books at a respectable $36. But if you're into really cool old Golden Age Western stuff, this is a fun, cool book. I love the school marm there. What's she doing in the mine? I don't know.
With gloves on.
Yeah. So with gloves on, there you go. Well, she's stylish. There's we're not savages out here. It's $25 for Outlaws, Volume 1, number 6. Yes. Okay, we're gonna have a few of these today because, in retrospect, there was a time when, well, first of all, we sold a ton of Wizards back in the day, and then for a while, people kind of poo-pooed on it. But now, in retrospect, I go back and look at them. Okay, while you have to wade through a lot of the Valiant coverage and the Defiant coverage and the stuff that was hot in the day, there's a lot of good information in these books. This, for example, has the price guide that you can check out, but it also has some trading card tips and some history of cable and some other cool stuff. This is number 17 of the Wizard magazine. Before the internet, we had to read all of our comic information in magazines and periodicals and talk to friends and stuff. But this was the big deal of the day. Wizard magazine. This is issue number 17. And if you're not collecting these because you're a collector, or you just want to read some comic history on day and date and see what was hot that month and saw how it was all hot to us. Plus, it has a lot of contemporary interviews from the hot artists that are now classic artists because it's been 25 or 30 years since these came out. Oh my gosh! But for $2 for Wizard number 17. It's a fun read, and for $2, I mean, you can't hardly go wrong. It's gigantic and thick, and you can also look and say, "Oh my gosh, I would gladly pay $30 for that Amazing Spider-Man number 300." Yeah, let me in on that, please. Wizard magazine number 17, $2. Hello, Pascal. Yes, I miss Wizard magazine too. I mostly miss the money that I used to generate from Wizard magazine. Oh, all right, Airboy. Man, these have some great classic covers. Look at that gigantic airship that he fought with, and this featuring the Heap. I guess is that. I thought the Heap was like a Shaggy Man-Thing looking thing. Maybe that's not the Heap on the cover. Is that
like a nerd?
Is that a nerd Heap? Is he wearing spectacles? Is that
looks like it.
That monster's wearing? All right, and then I guess these airships are fighting giant pyramids in the sky, and this pyramid luckily had a window for the Heap to crawl out of.
Pre-Stargate.
Pre-Stargate, yeah. So let's see, it has heavy stains on the back cover and a piece out of the back cover, about a thumb-sized piece. So in good, this book's at $15, but this is a great classic fun book. $8 for you here today. Airboy, Volume 9, number 7. Oh, the 90s. We bought a nice collection. I don't know, time is fleeting. It's moving past me so quick. I don't remember if we bought this collection this weekend or last weekend, but it had a lot of cool, fun 90s stuff. And then you think, oh my gosh, the 90s, that was 30 years ago. Or at least,
oh, look at that collar.
Look at that collar on that. This is Punisher 2099. So these 2099 books are starting to they're going to come revisit the storylines, I believe. And this is number 1, Punisher 2099 number 1 with a shiny blue shiny cover there. This beautiful copy. I think it was bought and put into a bag and board right off the newsstand there. $6 for Punisher 2099 number 1.
Ooh, here comes some dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs, I'm off. Oh my goodness. Yes. Cecil's here, everyone. Half the Angelettas. I don't remember if they're the good half or the bad half. All right. Showcase Rip Hunter Time Master. The third appearance of Rip Hunter Time Master. I didn't remember that Joe Kubert had did the art for these and these wash covers, these gray tones. Very fun stuff on these covers. You can see how they're not really colored like regular comic characters on the Triceratops and the whatever thing that is coming out of the water there. You get your Cuber guys here, and then this gray tone scale on this. Third appearance of Rip Hunter Time Master. If Mr. Witherington was here, he would be going dogging on him. But hey, it's his third appearance. It's a really cool book. Before they started meddling with him, and it's pretty pricey. This is Showcase number 25, which, if you'll remember, Showcase is the DC Comics tryout book. So I wish we had the issue right before this because it was Green Lantern. Oh my gosh. Issue Showcase 22, 23, and 24 is Green Lantern. And then those are crazy expensive. So, hey, dude, can't you go back, use that Time Master power, go back a month and get Showcase 24? Or even better, Showcase 22. But this is the third with Rip Hunter in 20 and 21, then Green Lantern in 22, 23, and 24, and then Time Master came back for 2 more issues. So they had high hopes for Rip Hunter Time Master, and I guess it paid off for him because he got his own book and it ran for, geez, like 10 years or something like that. But here's the third appearance of Rip Hunter Time Master in Showcase. This fine minus copy, it's $125. That's legit price. These showcases are expensive. $90 for you here today for Rip Hunter Time Master in Showcase number 25. Shiny alert, it's the 90s. The Lethal Leader, which you'll see a couple of times here today. This is the Incredible Hulk number 400. This very fine copy, $6 for the shininess in this story entitled Ghosts of the Past. $6 for the Incredible Hulk number 400. Okay, so this big Golden Age collection had a whole bunch of Archies, and there is a lot of cool history here about Archie comics. You may not be an Archie comic collector, but it's fascinating, fun stuff. And then they always have fun gags on this one. Yeah. Hey, Veronica, wait till you see the silly looking suit Betty's wearing. Dun, dun, dun. Oopsie. Classic Archie. There was only a handful of Archie artists in the 50 years when they were super popular. This is Harry Lucy, and he was known as the more realistic of the Archie artists, and he's like the middle artist. There's one guy, I forget his name, I'm sorry to have forgotten his name, but then Harry Lucy kind of tightened up all the pencils and made them more realistic, and that's when Dan DeCarlo came in and gave them just a little subtler cartoony style that you know and love. That's what he's the creator of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and you'll recognize his style right off the bat. This is a great, if you were going to buy one Archie, this is kind of one that you would want in your collection. It's from 1958, and it's got Harry Lucy cover and a Harry Lucy story and a Dan DeCarlo story also inside of there. So you get a couple of different Archie artists so you can compare and contrast so that you know your Archie artist. And Dan DeCarlo, he did Good Girl art all through the 50s and 60s. He worked, golly, he probably worked in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and I think he might have had 1 or 2 stories in the 2000s. So an important comic contributor there, Dan DeCarlo, and he has even these great art books that you should check out sometime too. In Good, this is $10, and we're offering this fun gag comic, Archie number 95, for $8 here today. Flying Saucer Comics. Oh, it was the rage in the 60s. Little Green Men, look at that. Was it My Favorite Martian still on TV, I guess? Or maybe that was mid-60s, I can't remember. Flying Saucers is a comic that ran at Dell Comics for only 5 issues. This is the final issue from 1969, which is really weird because in the price guide I didn't realize this because you never see them together. But it has the same cover as number 1. I guess they just said, forget about it. We're not even going to pay for a cover artist. Let's get this stuff out. Flying Saucers number 5 with the same cover as number 1. This VG copy book's at $8, but $3 for you here today to read all about the late 60s flying saucers.
Great cover. This is a big trigger for a new mic at our store there.
Oh, yeah. Wizard number 18, which is actually on the collector's market, has a little bit of heat on it because it's within the first year of Carnage. So this is a fold out.
Sorry, I gotta put it back in. I don't want to. There we go.
It's a fold out Venom and Carnage cover. It also has an action figure price guide. And what if they just don't publish this enough kind of stuff? How do you identify action figures? Well, Wizard was starting to do a lot of that stuff in the mid 90s. They had the action figure price guides and identification charts, comic books, and then they also had gaming consoles. So it's pretty funny to see them talking about 8-bit stuff like it's the hot new thing. So this also has a lot of insight on Venom and a really good crazy stuff. This is a highly recommended read, as a matter of fact. And this cool cover for Wizard number 18. If we put this in the store, it's going to be $12. And also another gag Wizard did is they had a mascot. It was this little wizard with this purple hat. And so on every cover, the purple hat's getting shredded or it's hidden somewhere in the cover. It's a fun little gag. So you can see Venom kind of shredding it up the purple hat there on the left-hand side. The fun stuff. $6 for Wizard number 18. Patsy Walker, Miss America. This is an interesting book in that it's a lot of Marvel history here. It's by Atlas Comics, which was Marvel. So this is Stan Lee writing a bunch of comics. And this is it June or Jane? I can't remember. Goodman, which was the wife of Martin Goodman, who was the publisher, was putting together this. And most of this time, these books had articles about recipes and fashion and stuff like that, and then they would tuck a comic story inside of there. So the book is actually Miss America, but eventually it evolved into a comic book. But in the earlier issues, which we have in stock, but we're going to dole those out over time, it was more like a Good Housekeeping book, and it had how to do all the housekeeping stuff of the time period, from A to Z. So, and then Patsy Walker would have a story, and then her Hetty was one of her friends, and then Margie, and they would all kind of rotate in and out. And eventually, Patsy Walker must have been pretty popular because I have 5 different Patsy Walker books. There's Patsy and Hetty, there's Patsy and her friends. So in the mid 1950s, I got to do some research. But Patsy Walker was the jam, or at least they thought she was because she was selling some good books for them. And then it's fun to see what artist Stan Lee drug in to do each of these comics. And plus good fun gags here. So I say, hey, what does Patsy have that I haven't got? Buzz. That's the main protagonist there, guy. Buzz. He's a college man. So good fun stuff. And Patsy Walker, as we established in the show last week, goes on to become Hellcat. And you saw her in the Netflix show. They called her Trish because her name is Patricia, and they kind of hid it for a little while. So Patsy Walker is Miss America. This VG copy book's at $30, $18, and plus it's a very solid cover. I really like the cover. $18 for Miss America number 81. Okay, you guys, we're all getting older, and these 90 comics are starting to turn into a thing. The Real Ghostbusters #1, I just totally blew it off, and then I did the research on it, and you 90s kids are starting to buy your stuff back now. A few years ago, it was you 80s kids buying your G.I. Joes and your Transformers and your GoBots and your all things Trek and Wars. And now we're starting to get into Real Ghostbusters and a couple of other books that are coming up here later on. The Real Ghostbusters, Cindy did the research on this, and what did you find, Cindy?
The reason why Egon's hair is different, and is it Pinkman?
Yeah.
The reason why their hair is different, they didn't want to pay the actors for their likenesses.
Oh, that's before they were smart enough to put all that in the original contracts,
right.
I guess.
The reason it's called Real Ghostbusters is because there already was a Ghostbusters cartoon.
Yes, there was a really bad Ghostbusters cartoon. I remember seeing that.
Nothing to do with
in the Netflix show. Yeah, it was like it looked like a Gilligan's Island type thing that they were Ghostbusters. The the real Ghostbusters #1 from Now Comics. This VF copy, $20 if it makes it to store, $15 for you here now. Shout out if you are a big real Ghostbusters fan. Tell me what was the big deal about it? Was it just the fact that it was more Ghostbusters, or were you all things Ghostbusters? It's a spectacular first issue here for $15. Lacey's here. All right. There's
Good.
it.
Okay, wait a minute. I had a trigger. I just put it to the back. Hold on. Here's a lacy trigger coming up.
Oh, Wizard Magazine #19. The Bart Sears, that's the artist's name, Wolverine cover. Now, admittedly, he's not shirtless, so it's not a 100% trigger.
Sorry, lacy.
But this one, I even made a note that this one had great articles inside of it. It has Mark Texera and Hama articles on there, and really, really cool stuff in there. What else? Exclusive?
It's a British invasion. She would also enjoy that.
Yes. Fun stuff. These books are really undervalued today because they have a lot of good historical context and just good articles. This Wizard #19, $2. $2 for Wizard #19.
Would have been 3 if he was shirtless.
Yes, I think, Tom, you're right. It was a gorilla talking. Ray's here, everyone. Hey, Ray. Good to see you here. Whoa. Chris had some context there. Good. Yeah, that's right. All right. Hanna-Barbera superheroes. This is crazy stuff. The Herculoids.
Minotaur. Yeah, there's a lot
I
of
was not a big Minotaur fan, but the Herculoids, I was all about them.
You
And
always spoke like
I
that.
always, when Moby Dick came on, I thought that was stupid. And Space
It
Ghost.
was.
Space Ghost!
It
And
looks
this
like
art on
Chernobyl.
the Space Ghost comic in this book, fantastic. The art inside this book is way better than it has any right to be. This is issue #6 of Hanna-Barbera's Super TV Heroes. It has a respectable $16 book value in VG, $10 for this copy here today. And you can read all about the Herculoids and the Space Ghost versus the Sunmaster. The Sunmaster? Oh, yeah.
That's a puppet.
A bare arm. He says a bare arm was showing. It kind of counts toward the shirtless
Oh,
meter.
Wolverine. And there was a star floating in the back. I think that had to do with that.
Yeah, I think that eventually we're all going to be sad that we don't have Wizard magazines around. We cut a lot of them up and made buttons back in the day. As I'm flipping through them, though, I'm going, wow, these are actually pretty good. There's really good information in here, and a lot of it. I mean, you just can't flip around on the internet and kind of find it all in one package anymore. It's good to have it just sitting down, so whenever you're just kind of hanging out, maybe having a little lunch or something, flipping through it, it's good times.
Our only problem with Wizard was that people thought what they wrote in there were things that were actually out at the time.
Right, well, like the internet now.
Yes.
Super TV Heroes, $10. Whoa, what is this? Whiz Comics. Whiz Comics #87. Kind of a lower grade because it's been read to bits, but man, did Captain Marvel spend a lot of time back in ancient Roman Greece or what? Oh, this is Olympus. Also, we have Golden Arrow, Ibis, and Taia. I'm not familiar with Taia. Who knows who Taia is? This Good Plus copy books at $40. We're offering it today for $25. I would like to note that it has a Basil Wolverton half-page gag cartoon, which is highly collectible because of his art style is pretty unique and pretty out there kind of stuff. So who's up there? That's Captain Marvel. Who's the other guy in the picture, Cindy?
Captain Marvel and the War on Olympus.
No, at the very top left.
Oh, that's the Golden Arrow.
Oh,
Captain Marvel and the Golden Arrow.
The Golden Arrow. Cindy was perplexed that there were so many because we're going to have other arrows in other books here today. But there's Golden Arrow. There's Green Arrow. I think wasn't there a Red Arrow, or is that just Speedy? Somebody let me hook me up with some Arrow guys here. But also, this is a couple of shows ago, maybe even a couple of weeks ago. Several people asked for some specific ads from comics, and this Whiz comic delivers. Let's see what we have here. Oh yeah, here we go.
You gonna show it?
There we go. Charles Atlas ad. He's getting sand kicked in his face. Oh my gosh.
Looks like Steve Rogers at the beginning of Captain America.
It is. I didn't get a good enough shot, I don't think, for me to be able to read what's going on there. But there you go. It's the classic ad that you've always heard about. It did exist. It wasn't just made up. It was in the back of this Whiz comic. Hall of Fame, body fame instead of shame. Oh my
Charles
God.
Atlas can help you out.
He's gonna look at. I love how he kicks the chair over. By golly, I can't beat up anybody, but I can beat the heck out of this chair until Charles Atlas.
He can do that all day.
Yeah, I can do this all day. So there you go, Charles Atlas ad. Oh, they're purple arrow and pink arrows. Okay. All right, here's a Superman 3-pack for the, everything doesn't have to be expensive in the show. And in the Green Arrow is a backup story in this Action comic. It's Action Comics 401 and 436, and then we throw a Superman 255 kicker in there. Oh wow,
That's not good.
that's wow,
That's gonna hurt.
that looks awkward and painful. So this 3-pack of Superman, great Superman reads. This is a job for Perry White. $5 for these 3 Action Comics. Oh man, I keep running across the O.J. Simpson Mandingo boot ad or whatever it's called there. It's crazy stuff. Oh my gosh. Oh no, it's just Dingo boots. I don't know. I can't remember.
That's the name of a corset buster book.
Right.
Dingo.
Oh look, the other Angelettas have decided to grace us with the presidents. Thank you so much for coming in, Robert. Secret Avengers. It's more shiny comics. Wow. Look at this. All the craziness from the early 90s. The hot characters of the day. Wolverine, which seems to be perpetually hot. This Darkhawk, which is supposedly hot. All you 90 guys are piling in for that first appearance. That's one random version of Spider-Woman. I forget which one. And who is that on the left? Two Gun Kid? No.
Oh,
Nomad?
there?
I think that's Nomad.
Nomad on the right?
Yeah, on the left.
Right. Oh, on the left, I think that is Nomad.
Yes.
He's got an N on his belt.
Oh, well, then there you go. Just like Galactus has a G on his belt, so he can know whose belt.
You gotta know who these guys are.
All of this with Doctor Strange taking over the team there. The Secret Defenders. I mean, nobody knew who the Defenders were in the first place. Why they needed to go secret, I'm not really sure either. But this beautiful shiny cover from 1993 only set you back $6 for shiny stuff. Mm-hmm.
Here comes a Chris trigger. I have to say, I hope he's watching.
Oh, look at this beautiful. That is a beautiful painted cover of Lone Ranger. It's Lone Ranger number 16 from Gold Key, trapped in Dad Reed's secret hideout. This fine plus copy, well, it looks better than that in this Mylar here. $13 is what the book value is on this. $6 for you here today. Wow. That is the Spider one introduced during the Secret Wars. Oh. Okay. There you go. That's something at least. All right. Our Army at War. Wow. This is a Korean era conflict stuff going on here. The Mustang and My Number. The Other Explosive Battlefield Stories. Issue 59. This is like pre-Sergeant Rock, Our Army at War. Pre-Sergeant Rock, good plus. $40 is what it would be in the store. $25 for this. Who's on? Is it Dunn? Is that the name of the pilot?
Yeah, he's done.
That's unfortunately phrased. Or is that foreshadowing? Ouch. Ow. $25 for Our Army at War, number 59. Oh, I love this cover. I was.
Oh, he's also number 13. It's on his helmet.
Oh, he's on his helmet. He's number 13. I mean, Donald Duck, The Siege of Fort Duckburg. It's what are those burglar guys called? The Beasley Boys.
The Beagley Boys.
You got Donald Duck. you got your unfortunately caricatured indigenous people, and you got your junior woodchucks just having it out in the backyard there. Great classic Donald Duck story. $3, $3 for this crazy, crazy fun book from 1969. Donald Duck, The Siege of Fort Duckburg. $3. Beagle Boys.
Beagle. Is it Beagle? Oh, yeah, Beagle. You're right. Sorry, I thought Beagle.
How do you can you tell them apart? Or they all have different masks or something like that?
I don't know. I'll see.
Oh, did I write anything on the back of this?
Cover detached, piece missing, 3 pages. That's what it said. You didn't write that. That was written on the back.
All right. So this is Speed Comics. Speed Comics has an interesting place in the history of comics. First of all, this is just a wacky, cool Golden Age book. Covered and detached. So in good, it's $47 price guide. This copy we're asking $25. It presents pretty well, but Speed Comics was by a little publisher called Brookhouse. Is that what it was? Is that what I wrote on there?
Yes, Brookwood.
Brookwood, and they did it for a little while.
Captain Freedom.
Captain Freedom was one of their books, and eventually they sold out to the company that did to Three Brothers, and the Three Brothers had a little publishing company. Here you go, Cindy. I'm gonna hand this to you. Underneath here.
Hang on. Take me a second because I gotta. I'm getting there. And what am I doing? Putting it up now?
Yeah, put it up now because it's part of the story. This is mini story time, everyone. They were floundering for a little while, but they sold out to Three Brothers who started their own publishing company called Harvey, the Three Harvey Brothers, and it was the starting of their publishing empire. And then a few years later, they decided to license these characters, the Casper character, the Popeye, whatever. Who was it? Universal Pictures.
Little hot stuff, maybe?
Yeah, and then eventually they did so well with it, they bought all of them out except for Popeye. Popeye stayed its own independent group, and this is the start of the Harvey Comics empire right here. Speed Comics, which ran a few issues before they were bought out by the Harvey brothers, who went on to create Harvey Comics and all the stuff from your childhood, Casper the Friendly Ghost, all that kind of stuff. Well, they didn't invent all those stuff; they licensed them and then bought them out. Let me say that correctly. But here's where it all started, and this is great classic superhero stuff from look at this, culturally inappropriate all over the place. Then Cindy points out that there's a life plasm here and a life ray on there. This is a crazy, crazy
They're
cover.
on the jars for you in another country, but in English.
Right. Even though they may be in Egypt, it's all written in English. Plus, it has an early Joe Kubert story in back there because Joe Kubert was a teenager during this time period, and I guess he would work for whoever would buy the pages. 47 in good, $25 for you here today for Speed Comics, number 42. All right, 90s guys, here you go. This WCW World Championship Wrestling #1 with Lex Luger. This VF copy of #1, $10 if it makes it to the store. I make sure I wipe these down so all that baby oil doesn't get all over the Mylar on the inside. But $6 for this first issue of WCW World Championship Wrestling. Who's that? Somebody who's into wrestling on the upper left. Who is that? Ed surely knows that. But if you're into wrestling or you know somebody he is, what a great quick gift for $6. You can't really go wrong with that. WCW #1 for $6. Yes, Comics Value Monthly. All right, so we've done in the past. We've done Wizard. We've done Heroes magazine. Was it Heroes magazine? And then now there was also Overstreet did a book every once in a while, and then there was a monthly book called Comics Value Monthly. And while would not recommend using this as a price guide, this book is a special edition. Where were you when Superman died? and it has amazing interviews with Superman creators. I had never read an interview with Kurt Swan, for example, and he gives his insight about whenever he took over. I did not know that Kurt Swan did early Legion of Superhero stuff. I just didn't know. And then there was also a John Byrne interview in here, some Marv Wolfman interview, all of it. And just if you're a Superman fan, this is kind of something you need in your collection, because it also has a listing of all the Superman cards, not only the ones from the 90s, but the ones from like the 50s and 60s, and Superman toy checklist. Crazy stuff. Like the price for a Superman lighter from 1950 in this price guide, it was $1,500. What? In 1993 was anything $1,500? Well, so anyway, this is chock full of Superman information. If you're a Superman fan and this is not in your collection, I'm calling you out right now as not really a Superman fan. So Comics Value Monthly, the special number 2 from 1992, $6. Oh my gosh. Wow. So you guys keep buying horror and ghostly tales, so I'm just going to keep putting them up until you guys stop buying them. Especially fun ones like this. This is a 2-pack, issue 121 and 125. Solid, fine copies with Steve Ditko covers and at least one Steve Ditko story in each of these. That's a really nice cover by Ditko right there. That one is it's okay, but the other one. So actually, these have some good value on them as far as price guide value. But this 2-pack would be $15 individually if we put these books out in the store. But you can buy them together today for $8 and enjoy some great Ditko horror stuff here. All new Ghostly Tales, 121 and 125, $8. So, all true romance. There was a lot of this. This is how they named a lot of books back in the Golden Age. I guess there was a bunch of them that just called romance, but this was all true romance. There was true crime, all true crime, crime comics, crime does not pay, all of this kind of stuff. And this has a Marvel artist in the future, some 15 or 20 years before he went to was well known at Marvel. This is Don Heck doing the cover of this, and he does a story on the inside also. This is the story of the Substitute Bride. All True Romance, number 13. It's unfortunately stained on the back cover pretty bad, but it's from 1953. This good copy books at $16, $8. No, books at $12, $8 for you here today. All True Romance, number 13, $8. It's Pablo of Future Past. Wildcats Trilogy, shiny, shiny, shiny cover. But also, what's being recognized currently is that this is the first appearance of Gen 13, which was a big deal in the 90s. Kind of lost its luster here recently until somebody figures out how to relaunch it. But this Wildcats Trilogy has amazing Jay Lee artwork on the inside. It's just that the Wildcats cannot get rebooted correctly. And now that it's folded inside of the DC universe, who knows if it ever will be done correctly in the future. But this shiny cover Wildcats Trilogy has great Jay Lee art, and then it has the cameos of the first appearance quote cameo close quote of Gen 13. They're basically a bunch of pinups in the back. But that's an interesting side note on this book that I had not known until I looked it up. Shiny copy of Wildcats Trilogy, $3. Oh, since you were late, Pablo, I didn't really care what you were having for lunch, but I'll go ahead and mention it anyway. Lunch are Puerto Rican pork. Okay, well, now I do care because that sounds delicious. Pork potato tacos with hot sauce. I'm kind of getting a little peckish here. All right, what else do you got, Cindy? The Submariner. We've had this book many times over the summer because it's a great book. Every time we get one, I'm going to put it up here because anytime you can see fire and water fighting it out, you want to see fight, fight, fight. Plus, this also has a crazy twist at the end of this book with the Submariner and Human Torch. You'd think they wouldn't fight so often, seeing how they were buddies all through the World War II on those Allies books. But, you know, why not? That's the Marvel deal. flying along, and then we're going to run into each other, and then we're going to have a smackdown for about 8 pages, and then we'll sort it out. Namor versus the Human Torch. This is a well-read copy, a good plus, $8, but $6 is a nice reader for you here today. Plus, it's got a great classic cover on it. Well, it's Submariner, but whenever I was growing up, it was the Submariner. One of Cindy's favorite books, she says, because all the villains look like their name, like this guy right here. Who's that?
Well, that's just the juvenile delinquent. But I was talking about like Prune Face.
Isn't that Prune Face falling through the window there?
No, that's not Prune Face.
Oh.
He's just one that I think of in particular. There's Mumble.
Mumble, 88 Keys, or is that from the Bugs Bunny cartoon? Oh, Dick Tracy's pulling out a little cap gun there.
Right, because the delinquent has one too. See, he's swinging in with the gun.
Oh, that's the delinquent. I thought the delinquent was there working on the mask. My bad.
That's his sidekick.
I totally misread the whole situation here. I got to get close. Hey, look, it's a Harvey comic. Remember I just told you about the 3 Harvey brothers? Eventually had their other brothers join them in the publishing venture too.
Oh boy, I bet you that stamp on the upper left-hand corner got cut out of a lot of those covers.
That's right.
That Dick Tracy.
Yeah. So this way to go, Dick Tracy. This VG copy books at $12, $6 for issue 128 of Dick Tracy. It's one of those licensed books that Harvey made their money on, and eventually that Harvey symbol they only used for a few years on the upper left. Eventually, they used this Harlequin Jack in the Box coming out of the top of the H. That was as their symbol. But here's Dick Tracy 128 for $6. Oh wow. Warren Beatty still owns the rights to Dick Tracy. You'd think that these companies would be smart enough to put sunset clauses into these contracts so they can get their stuff back someday. Wow. If you get to watch the Die Hard documentary, I did not know this, but Die Hard, the one from 1988, is actually a sequel to a 1950s movie starring Frank Sinatra. And he held the rights to any sequel to that. So they had to offer the role of John McClane to him first. And luckily he turned it down, or it would have been a completely different movie. All right. Oh, X-Men 268. It's not quite a VF copy. It has a little bit of more color breaks than I would like to be able to call a VF. But if we made it to the store, this newsstand copy, it's hard to find high-grade newsstands because, the kids bend them over to see what's behind them and stuff like that. You were probably one of those kids, so I don't want to hear any smack talk from you. This X-Men 268, $10 for this VF minus copy, X-Men 268, but it does have a great Jim Lee cover with, is it Wycheck, the inks on that? I can't tell. But Captain America, Black Widow, and Wolverine. I think, is this the first time they tried to retrocon all these guys knew each other in World War II? I think that was the whole bit here. I think so. Thanks. Classic Wolverine pose. The Mighty Avengers. Look, it's giant hands out in space. Oh, wow. And while it's not a shirtless Wolverine, looks like it's a shirtless Goliath. So that gets you part of the way there, right? 64 is the issue number of this Mighty Avengers. $15 for this really nice copy. Presents very well of this VG Plus copy. $10 for you here today, though. $10 for the Mighty Avengers. Mighty Avengers number 64. I just love that those icons underneath the 12 cents. That the Black Panther, the Vision, two of my favorites. The Yellow Jacket before he went crazy. And, I have a soft spot, even though I rag on Goliath. And then the Wasp. Who doesn't like the Wasp? Come on. That was her bit. She did all the fashions for sure. Oh my gosh, what is this? It's a Detective Comics from that really crazy time period where Batman didn't fight crime so much as alien crime. So this is issue 279 of Detective Comics. This is a VG Plus. Books at, wow, an astonishing $90. But it's only $65 for you here today if you need an old classic Detective Comics, a 10-center. The Creatures That Stalked Batman. Look at this, the Batcave. He was just starting his Erector set and his junior chemistry set here. There's no giant penny yet. You don't even see the Batmobile in there, but there are aliens in the Batcave. So I don't know. You need to hide that thing a little bit better. $65 though for this swell copy of Detective Comics number 279. Alrighty, what do we got next?
Nutty.
It's a little nutty. Wow. But this is a cool comic. Look at that. Parachute jumps. This is Nutty Comics number 4, which is actually like the first numbered issue. The Golden Age, it was the Wild West back then. There's a Nutty Comics that has a date before this, but they call it no number. And then issue number 4, and I think it only ran like 4 issues. But this is silly, fun stuff with really solid art in there. I wonder if somebody famous did that art, but I didn't see that on there.
This looks like a cartoon.
Is that Slappy Squirrel there? Slappy Squirrel's grandparents? This has a detached cover, and and good, it's $8, $6 for you here today. If you want just something random from the Golden Age, man, there's nothing more random than Nutty Comics. Nutty Comics number 4. When's that from? 1946? Wow, that is really old.
All right, here's a three-dimensional comic. We haven't seen those in a while, but I've never seen this one.
Oh yes, this has an awkward title too.
Rudy Kazootie.
It's 3DL. That's the name of the book, featuring Rudy Kazootie. Is Rudy Kazootie an old-time TV or radio act? I'm not sure. But this is, oddly enough, the glasses are included in this. They've been punched out and they're just slipped inside there. But usually when we have these 3D books, yeah, they're missing the glasses. But we have, and it's very, very glossy too. So if you're a 3D fan or an old Dell Comics fan, these 3D books are kind of expensive because they're really hard to find, and the collectors of this are pretty feverish for these. This is number 1 of 3DL by Dell Comics. Get it? DL? Get it? Okay. It has the glasses. In VG, it books it an astonishing $52. $40 for you 3D collectors out there today. It might be worth $25 just for the glasses. Who knows? This featuring Rudy Kazootie, $40. Yes, you can claim the glasses only. It's $40. I see what I did there. Amazing Spider-Man number 74. You know, we bought 2 collections over the last couple of weekends, and mostly what this show is today. It's random stuff. You buy a collection, you go, all right, this is going to have all Spider-Mans in it, and it has one Spider-Man in it. Who buys one Spider-Man? I can only think that through the mist of time, all the others got lost or read to bits. But this is a nice, solid VG copy. It's been read quite a bit. It's The Secret of the Petrified Tablet. $20 in VG, $10 for this copy. Spider-Man is laying the smacketh on those guys, isn't he? That's pretty nice stuff. $10 for this Amazing Spider-Man number 74. Yes, I just like saying Rudy Kazootie too. All right, this is Fantastic Four, number 371. See, back in the 90s, they looked for all kinds of gimmicks. This is a newsstand version of this book, which is kind of hard to find. Most of the comic stores had this and a red version of this. Also, this is 371, the white hot cover, and see how they put that barcode on there to kind of killed the whole effect there. But to find a high grade newsstand of this book is pretty uncommon for us. It's a relief. It's been pressed into there. It's a hard, firm cardboard cover, all white. $12 if it makes it to the store. $8 for you here today. Fantastic Four, 371. What is this? Adventure into Mystery, another Atlas Comics / Marvel Comics. You know, all through the Golden Age, Martin Goodman called his companies many different things. If you look inside of these books, there's about 20 different names. They all go to the same address. And a little unique fact, and anybody who's been to New York or New York can tell me if this is true. Some of those skyscrapers, and this is a story I read, were so big where they had their offices that they had entrances on two streets. So they would use like 123 Fourth Avenue as one address, but you could also get to their office through another street, and they would put an address there. And so it was the same building, but two addresses, and that's how they got away with a lot of this stuff. These different companies having all out of the same office, but having different addresses. This is Atlas Comics, which goes on to become Marvel Comics. I'm pretty sure this is a Stan Lee or Stan Lee ushered through book because he's basically the only employee at this time. But these horror books pre-Marvel 1961 are getting crazy. They're getting very expensive. This is a Bill Everett, the creator of the Submariner, doing the cover of this book, The Wax Man. This is issue number 6 of Adventure into Mystery. A VG copy is a crazy $64. Price guide $50 for this. I mean, this VG copy of this crazy book, Adventure into Mystery from Atlas, $50. Hey, Bill, thanks for the input. Yeah, Bill Everett. I didn't discover him until much later. He did a few Submariner stories, and by then I guess he was older and his style was a little more pointy. But yeah, now that I've doing a lot of these older comics, the guy could draw, man. He could draw, especially when you got peak Bill Everett. Aquaman. I think this is a Nick Cardy cover. These guys, they were all getting kind of close on the art style. Aparo, Cardy, they were all from that Neil Adams because he was super popular at the time. I can't really tell if this is Cardy or Aparo, but it's pretty swell. I like the dragons or the sea dragons tongue is wrapped around Aquaman. That's pretty cool stuff. Too late, Aquaman. Too late. This is issue 47 in VG. I'd grade it higher, but on the upper left it has a little color break up there. It's pretty heinous. Around the edges, it's got a little wear. But if you're an Aquaman collector, this is going to be slipping right into your collection. Look very nice because the colors on this are fantastic. $12 for this VG copy in Overstreet. $6 for you here today. Aquaman 47. Whoa. What is this? Black Magic. Woo, it's not a pre-code horror because there's a gigantic Comics Code Authority. But it's practically a magazine. And what's interesting is I was flipping through this. It's called Black Magic, but it's mostly science fiction tales. So I don't know if they kind of put together an all science fiction issue or what. But this cover they used a couple of times. I think we had this book on a 1970s reprint a few weeks back. But this is the original Black Magic, Volume 7, Number 1. All of these horror books pre 1961 are just basically unhinged from reality. Because there's starting to be a lot of collectors piling in on these. They're getting really hard to find, and high grade, just forget about it. They just don't exist. So anytime you can find one that's still all together, it's a good deal. So Black Magic Volume 7. I don't even know why they call these things volumes. Somebody explain to me how that works. But it's Volume 7, Number 1. I guess so they could put more number ones. I don't know. From 1958. $30 is what we're asking for this. I mean, the font on that, Black Magic, is just fantastic. 10 cents. It looks classic. And there's that scuba diver, is that Nessie that he's fighting, or just some other plesiosaurus? I don't know. Sure. It's Amazing Mysteries. $30 for Black Magic, Volume 7, Number 1. What? It's more 90s shiny stuff. Man, we're going 58 to 93. We're all over the place. This is I think this was Stan's return to writing comics. He hadn't written a comic for 20 years at this point. So it's Ravage 2099. I don't think this ever took off because it wasn't Ravage a Garbage Man or something like that. Listen, True Believer, I've got an idea. You've never seen the Garbage Man like you've seen him now. Ravage 2099, Number 1, shiny cover, $6. Oh, big book here. Big key book. Adventure Comics number 256. The Kryptonite Dragnet. What's important about this? It has the origin of Green Arrow in the back of it. And it has Jack Kirby doing the artwork on that. That's nuts. So this is, and it has a John Jones Manhunter from Mars story in it, I believe, also in there, tucked away. So this is, if it makes it to the store, it's going to be an $80 bill, $65 for you here today. You too can know, well, I guess it's not so much a secret anymore because we all know that Green Arrow spent 7 years on an island shirtless, right? Because of the TV show. So now it's not so much a secret what Green Arrow's origin is anymore. But for the first time, it was exposed here in Adventure Comics number 256. And you could find out all about it for $65. Well, we're down to 2 comics, Cindy?
We are.
Down to 2 comics.
And here we go.
Captain Marvel Jr. What?
Take me on.
Take on me. Every time I see this cover, I think of the Ahhhh video. And then Captain Marvel jumping in there because he wants to be in the video. This is a fair copy. Here at Keith's Comics, we never charge you extra for extra staples or tape, even if the comic needs it. And this comic evidently needed it. And it's missing a big chunk from the right-hand side. So it's below good, but it's complete, and it's it's held together, even if it is held together by extra staples and tape. You're welcome. This is Captain Marvel Jr. number 66. In fair, we're asking $12. In good, it books at $27 in the Overstreet. So this fair copy, we're asking $12 for Captain Marvel Jr. number 66.
And here's the last one for today.
The last one for today. Adventure Comics number 223. Hercules Jr. Okay. On the iceberg there, I guess, is what's going on.
No, it's Superboy turning into Hercules Jr.
Yes, and what's interesting in this is extra, the ABCs of archery. So it has a text story about archery, but they don't call out the fact that it has a Green Arrow story and an Aquaman story inside this book. So you get a Superboy story to kick off the book. Then you get an Aquaman story, basically a Golden Age Aquaman story, and then a Green Arrow story. Wow, this book is chock full of greatness. It's good. It's $37, $20 for this because, again, we've included extra staples and tape for this book. But, hey, it's a great read, and it's all there, so that's always a bonus, right? Adventure Comics number 223, $20. It's not even a bonus Green Arrow.
It's just a surprise.
It's a surprise one. Oh, that's it for today. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to have a lie down. Working all these Golden Age comics, as Ed can tell you, it takes a lot of time to flip through all these pages, and during the COVID, you used to you can't lick your fingers like you used to. You have to have those little pads here to put the little gummy stuff on there. So anyway, all right. So we're gonna be back this week. We're going to be back here Wednesday. That's tomorrow, isn't it? We're going to be here 12 to 1. Then I haven't sorted out if we're going to do Thursday night. What do you guys think? Thursday night being New Year's Eve and all, I'm sure that y'all got things to do. Or maybe you don't now that Dick Clark has left the planet. Maybe you just call it an early night and sit down and read some comics. So definitely Thursday night is in flux. I'll take input on that. Maybe Cindy and I can catch up on some of our comic reading on Thursday night unless you guys insist on us doing a show. I am traveling. Maybe I'll have all new books for Thursday night. Well, I say that. I have 600 books behind me that I'm still working on the first load.
But we can always have more.
Hey, we can always have more. And then Saturday night, 7 o'clock, that's the 2nd, right? Yeah, we'll be here Saturday night, 7 o'clock for sure. Won't we, Cindy?
Yeah. I just got a little thing in the morning, and that's it.
All right, and then we'll post once we look at the schedule firmly. We'll get back to our regular deal, so you guys know when to count on us coming in and doing the shows. It's always a good time. Always good to see you. Always good to see the comments in here and to talk comics and to show you guys some really cool. You will be drunk by showtime. It is a happy New Year.
Not if you use sparkling Welch's.
Oh, Ed just couldn't help himself. He had to pile on, right? Old comics for New Year's Eve. Well, Tom, you're not
Hey,
you're not hurting my
if you'll
feelings.
be here.
I'm not hating that idea. All right, but we have so many comics we got to work to get ready for future shows. I do bring them with me on Sundays at the Mockingbird store, 1 to 4. We have been selling them some of the really cool stuff, and there's so much cool stuff left though. And then we are buying new stuff all the time. So there we go. With me as always, my wife Cindy.
Yes.
Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow at noon. For Keith's Comics, I am Keith. I hope that you'll come back and see us tomorrow at noon. And if not, I will see you next time. All right, we got 3 ladders out there now, Cindy. You got something else we can throw up there real quick?
Yeah, I do. I wondered if they'd remember.
All right, one more time. What else we got, Cindy?
There it is. Boom.
Oh, Enter Doctor Doom with Disney confirming the Fantastic Four movie is in pre-production. Who knows what direction it's going to go? This is not the first appearance of Doctor Doom or the first appearance of the Silver Surfer, but it's the first time Doom and Surfer have it out. Doom steals the Silver Surfer's powers in this crazy, crazy book, Fantastic Four 57. Before you claim on it, make sure you see that it's an apparent find. I mean, the Mylar looks everything look great, but it was stored here in Texas, so it's a little brown. The back is very brown. The back cover is kind of brittle, and a piece has flaked off. But that's why it's only $10. $10 for this crazy cool issue of the Fantastic Four number 57. A fine copy books at 30, but this one with a piece flaked off of the back cover, about a thumb size, thumbnails, well, a little bit, 2 thumbnail sizes. Fantastic Four number 57. Great Kirby awesomeness. $10. Wow, what a deal. All right, gosh. Amazing stuff. Yes, yes, always wait until you see or read the little notes there, because so many books. That's the fun thing about collecting is the deep dives when you collections you get that have been in somebody's attic or garage for 50 years. And then you say, well, all right, where are we at on this? In 1972, the water heater broke. 1982, there was a hurricane, and then termite infestation, and then the voodoo doctor came one day. So anyway, you never know what's going on. But the Fantastic 457 for $10 seems like a great bargain, even as long as it's readable. That'd be fantastic. Awesomeness. Enter Doctor Doom. Thanks a lot, everybody. It's been great fun having the show today. Hope that you'll come back and see us tomorrow. That's it for today, and we'll see you next time.